I think we're live. Let us wait till Leo gets here and let us wait till everybody else gets here so that we can start. We're waiting for Leo. And obviously it's quarantine, so not much going on, but much more news than usual. There's a lot of fighters who have posted that they're back in training camp, so that's always good news. Jermaine Herring posted that he's back in camp. Jesse, who we just had live with us the other day, he posted something about being back in camp. A lot of fighters are posting that they're back in camp, and honestly, I love to see it. So hopefully that means that just like the UFC just put on a show where no people were there, but still a lot of people tune into, boxing will probably do the same. Let us hope. Let me share this. I should probably share this too on Twitter. I'm waiting for Leo to hop on, but if you guys can hear me, let me know. If you can't hear me and it's just me moving my lips, also let me know, because again, I didn't plug in the microphone today. It's just the laptop microphone. And I'm pretty sure you guys can hear my mom laughing and like doing all sorts of shit. But bear with me. I am waiting for Leo to hop on to the stream. But for now, let me know in the comment if you can hear me. What do you think about it's funny because Against the Ropes, who is a boxing podcast and who are usually on the live here, they actually talked about that on their live stream yesterday, where it's like, why is everybody going after Abner Mares these days? We had Jojo Diaz calling out Abner Mares and Jamal Herring had some, back and forth action on Twitter as well. I don't know. I know that Ryan was calling out the UFC fighter. I don't know anything about UFC, so I do know that he's, merging the two would probably be a pretty good money. I know that he said something like, "Oh, don't turn into don't be a McGregor now," or something like that, to that guy, the UFC guy that he was calling out. But he's no Mayweather, you know what I mean? So that reference I didn't like. And also he did tell Abner Mares, like, don't get knocked out in the first round again, which is reference to Abner Mares getting knocked out in the first round by Johnny Gonzalez. If you guys remember that, when Abner Mares got knocked out in the first round by hard-hitting Mexican Johnny Gonzalez. So at this point, I think it's funny, it's entertaining. We have not much going on right now with the whole quarantine situation, so of course there's gonna be Twitter fingers rambling all about, and on social media. I just don't see what anybody gets from beating Abner Mares. At this point, Abner Mares obviously had an injury to his eye in sparring when he was preparing for the fight against Tank. And again, I don't see how anybody... They gain maybe a name, maybe Ryan will probably be his biggest name on his resume, Abner Mares, so probably would be good on his resume. But isn't Ryan fighting at like 130, and then Abner Mares, what was his last fight, 126? But he's supposed to fight at 130 with Tank, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I feel like at this point it's just entertaining. I don't know if anything would come up. Now Ryan trying to merge the UFC with the boxing to try to be together. I don't know how that would fail. UFC fans are very dedicated fans. They're ride or die fans. In boxing, we have fans who, as soon as a fighter loses, they kind of jump off the bandwagon immediately, And with UFC, that doesn't happen. UFC fans are very loyal. When McMuffin has lost a couple times, McMuffin lost with Khabib, and he lost with that other guy. I don't know. McMuffin has lost. I just know that part. And he still has like really loyal fans. So I think a lot of UFC fans would definitely tune in. Boxing fans, of course, would tune in to see that. San says he's born a hell of a run until he got out by Gonzalez. Abner Mares been out of my favorites. Mares has a really good resume. And especially in that division. He does have a really good resume, and he already did what he did, though. I don't see him making like this Pacquiao style comeback at all or anytime soon. I think, especially because of the eye injury that he suffered. I don't see Abner coming back and just whooping ass either at 126 or at 130. I feel like he did what he did. He got his reign and he has his, he got his career already. I don't see how he could come back against any of these guys. I know, again, Jojo Diaz wanted him. But now there's also talks of Jojo Diaz rematch with Tevin Farmer, because if I'm not mistaken, there was a rematch clause there. I'd rather see. I know Jojo would probably beat Tevin Farmer again, and I would rather see Jojo with somebody else in the division than an older Abner Mares. Do you think some boxers are jealous of Ryan that he has 6 million followers on Stevin? Yes and no. I don't think, especially the old school fighters don't really give a fuck about followers. They don't give a fuck about social media. You know what I mean? I don't think they care. Now, new fighters, like up and coming fighters, I think what they see Ryan Garcia and they see this pretty boy guy, and Ryan's going through a lot of the things that I'm pretty sure Oscar de la Hoya went through, in his come up, with people not taking fondly of him, thinking he's gay. Everybody has that stigma with like guys that are pretty boys, or guys who like to model, or guys who like to acknowledge that they're attractive, they're gay, fuck this F word. And I just don't think they're jealous, but I do think that it mostly is positive, because a lot of fighters look at Ryan and they see, wow, like this guy is marketing himself, and this guy built himself a platform outside of boxing where he has, little teenager girls begging their parents to take them to his fights. When he sold out the StubHub, it was so many like 13, 14-year-old girls. And Leo, hi Leo.
Hi.
We're talking about Ryan, and Chi-Town's asking if you think Ryan, other fighters are jealous of Ryan's social media presence. I was saying more, it makes them more aware of how they can be like self-marketable. Like how if they don't feel like a promotion is doing good enough by them, they will make their own promotion through social media. And I think it gives fighters that like, damn, I have as many followers and get more fans to watch my fights without having to rely on like a promoter. I don't know if they're jealous. I don't think so, but it is like a really good question to, jealousy is just like a big word. I feel like it's kind of a different word. What do you think, Leo?
I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I feel it could be jealousy in some cases. It'll just be like, well, he's not, like, huh?
Like, who would you say, if there's anybody who's jealous of Ryan, who do you think would be jealous of him because of his followers?
Damn, I don't know. I just feel like maybe somebody who might be like obviously like on a higher level, right? They're like, this guy, like, he's still like a prospect to me, right? And they feel like he shouldn't have that kind of fame already. Like if like like if you were a champion, right, and you're just looking at him, you're like, Ryan Garcia isn't even a champion yet, and he's having all this like attention. I feel like that could be jealousy.
Fight Hype pulled out a phone interview with Floyd, where Floyd is also saying that he's like, oh, Ryan, he's big on social media, but he hasn't done much in the ring. And basically saying the same thing, like, if Ryan was really about trying to, make a legacy in boxing, not just be here for the gram, he would take the Rollies fight. And that's what he keeps saying. He's like, before he calls on anybody, he needs to get through Rollies. I don't know how that applies, but he was basically saying like, oh, he came to spar here at the Mayweather boxing gym, and then he ran out after he sparred Rollies. And I don't know if you remember, but they had done like a Twitter fingers battle back then too, where Floyd told him he'd give him, I don't know how much money to fight Rollies, and then he would give him 10. Right? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That he would pay him, I don't know how much, but that he had to fight Rollies, and if he beat Rollies, then he would give him a shot with Tank. Thing is, though, that Ryan wanted $1 million or something like that. Like, he wanted $1 million. And Floyd was like, yeah, no. So if I was Ryan in that case, I would be like, yeah, because if you're confident that you can beat Rollies, like, just do it. One, you're getting money. Two, you're shutting him up because he won't shut up about that sparring session, right? Like, Rollies love to bring up that sparring session. So it's like, okay, you're getting money, you're proving a point, and you're getting a title shot right after. So what is there to lose? You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't know, but that actually I think came out today or yesterday in the Fight Hype YouTube channel where you have Floyd on the phone and they're talking about that. Hola from Colorado. Hello, David, and hello, Brown Gone One. Now, another thing that happened this week is I was telling people a lot of fighters are posting that they're back in camp. Like Jamal Herring was posting that he's back in camp. Jesse posted that he's back in camp. And when I hear back in camp, that tells me that, like, maybe they know that they're going to be fighting soon. Even Ryan posted that he's fighting on the 4th of July. Right? So at least we know that we may have some good stuff coming our way in the next couple of months. However, we just got news that, like, here in California, like Southern California, like in LA, basically, they're extending the quarantine thingy. So I'm like, when are these fights and where are these fights going to take place? And maybe it will be like under, you know, closed doors, you know, like just like that UFC event.
Man, who knows? Like, honestly, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, because if they posted, they were all saying like, oh, July 4th, and then the next day, literally, like they're like, oh no, well, we're extending it. So it's just like, okay, what now? It'll probably just be under closed doors, you know, with no fans, which I was reading like baseball related articles on that, and it's crazy how much money you lose by not having a crowd, by not having like ticket sales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a big portion of your income, of your profits. I mean, like, so for there to not be a crowd, it's pretty crazy. But I'm pretty sure people just want content at this point. You'll just want to see a fight. And I don't know if Ryan's fighting Linares or not, because doesn't he live in Japan?
I think
I'm pretty sure Linares lives
I think he has a second home out there. Like, I know he lives pretty out there.
He's from Venezuela, right? But he lives in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't know how those travel arrangements would happen, especially with this coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
Like what the travel restrictions.
And he trains over there at the Taken gym with I forgot his name. But he trains with a Japanese trainer sometimes. Because I remember for the Lomachenko fight, he couldn't have Ismael Salas because he was working with David Haye.
Oh, that's right.
So he went. So he was. Yeah. So he was in Japan with the Taken gym, and there he was training, and it was fine. Like, yeah.
Now, obviously, we know that Andy went with the Canelo team, and I just want to run like a little poll. Like, I see a lot of people jump back on that Andy Ruiz bandwagon. You know, like they're like, oh, the Canelo team, let's go. You know, like, now what I want to know for the people watching, like, do you guys think that he will become champion again? It's kind of tough right now because AJ,
real tough.
You know, I don't think a third fight with AJ happens unless he like somehow becomes mandatory for, you know, any other organizations right now. But we know that Pulev is next, and we know that Usyk is probably after that if he remains champion.
Yeah.
So I don't see Ruiz getting a shot with him again, you know? Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Box Report TV. Yeah. And then with Fury obviously has to fight either Wilder next. I don't know, depending on the rematch clause. And I don't think Wilder would take a step aside fee. I don't think he would do that. So if it's like ingrained in the contract that there must be a rematch, then I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. And then I don't think Fury would prioritize giving Andy Ruiz a shot for the title, especially because of the whole PBC thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, look who's here, Miguel. You should join, Miguel.
He's just gonna be like, nah.
Come on, Miguel. You can
Come on, yeah, you should join.
Put on a mask. Put on the anonymous masks.
Just cover up your camera like that.
Put a little sticker or the camera.
Yeah.
No, you know how like people wear those anonymous masks, like the hacker.
Oh, you mean like the Vendetta, the
yeah,
Vendetta one?
yeah.
You just look creepy, man. I'd be a little scared.
That'd be funny though, because he could remain anonymous. Come on, Miguel, don't be a beach. I'm gonna send him the link. If Usyk's chin holds at heavyweight, he could be the next champ. I want to have so much faith in Usyk. However, like we don't know. Like you make a really good point, and you make the best point, which is the chin. This ain't no fucking hanky panky anymore. This is the heavyweight, and it's just I don't know if he can hold that. Yes, Garcia doesn't really have much of an IQ, like ring IQ, to box around him. You know, with Fury, we saw what he did to Deontay, and I don't know. I don't see how. I don't know. I want to believe that Usyk's gonna win, but at least the title. Maybe I feel like I would give him a shot against AJ, given how we saw what AJ looked like with Ruiz. So with that, it's like, well, anybody has a chance. I don't want to be like that because it discredits Ruiz a lot because he has a lot of speed for the heavyweight division. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like if he just proved that he can be put there in those situations, you know, in those hard times. So I would give him a shot against him, but I don't know. What the fight you want Ruiz want to fight? What's the fight you want Ruiz want to fight? What's the fight we want Ruiz to fight? I would like to see him with Ortiz, personally.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
Or
I just want to see him in there. Huh? Or dealing
I just want him to look good and not look sluggish.
I just want him to be disciplined. Like
yeah, and obviously I feel like that's why they took the route with the Canelo team, because it's more like, hey, you know, Canelo team, he's the guy that makes them do everything and be disciplined. But I feel like with Eddie Reynoso, it was a huge responsibility to take on Andy. You know, like I feel like every trainer would have been a good responsibility to take on Andy, because it's not like Manny Robles did anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. So it's like, okay, now that if I take this guy in, it's not up to me for him to be disciplined, really. I can tell him, hey, be here at this time and I'm going to, you know, kick your ass in training. But it's not up to them. You know, so it's like, okay, so they have all these guys who are, you know, disciplined, because Oscar Valdez, he's gotten this far too because he's very disciplined, obviously former Olympian.
Yes.
Canelo, obviously. Ryan is also, say what you say about him, but he is very disciplined. He doesn't get really fat in between fights. He doesn't, you know, get crazy with stuff. So he is very disciplined when it comes to boxing. And I think I saw Oscar Valdez posted a picture that says "No boxing, no life" or something like that. And it was all the fighters. And it was funny because I'm like, the first thing that came to my mind was like, 3 out of all these fighters have been caught with like clenbuterol.
Oh, I think Luis Neri probably
like that, you know, like Canelo, Panterita, Neri, and then Julio Cesar Martinez.
Yeah.
They've all gotten caught with something. So it's like that's not a good picture. To have like all of them and be like, hey, all these 3 of these guys in the same camp got popped for shit. You know what I mean? I feel like if boxing fans are weird with their memory and with their like double standards, they'll remember one thing and then let other things go. So I feel like if the boxing world was more critical of Eddie Reynoso, they'd be like, why are all these fighters yours, my dude? Like, how are you not paying attention to your fighters and what they're consuming? Because accidental or not, because, you know, as someone who lived in Mexico before, who was born in Mexico, who understands that, yes, it is a public health issue, that the cows do have clenbuterol, like they do. It's common knowledge, like it is a health thing in Mexico. Cows do have clenbuterol. Like they do inject them. I know that for sure. But whether it was, fucking accident or not, you're still responsible for whatever you consume and whatever goes in your body and whatever gives you an advantage. So it's like, how are you so neglectful that your fighters are like all popping up with this shit? You know what I mean? So I don't. Obviously, the boxing world is not gonna go after Eddie Reynoso like that. But the way they went at, like, let's say Dillian White, that there was no B sample, but they should, in a way, kind of be like, what's the pattern here? You know what I mean? Now, Box Report TV is not fighting Chaz Witherspoon fresh out the car. He needs his chin check before Joshua fight. Yes, he needs to fight. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the Chisora fight was pretty good. Chisora, obviously, he's fought mostly a lot of good guys, but he's not no big deal. He's not like some fucking B level guy. I think he's more like B minus. So I feel like Usyk should definitely fight somebody that's up there. Jonathan Lear, hair spot on. My hair is like all different colors. Your thoughts on Canelo working with Goosen in his corner? Cancio, have a good one there. Keep up the grind. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan has a Ring Walk podcast. He has the most like therapeutic voice I've ever heard in my life. Do you listen to the Ring Walk podcast? It's really good. He has like a bunch of different guests. Actually, I wanted to bring that up when we were talking about heavyweights. He just had the writer for the LA Times, and they brought up Wilder and whether he would get step away money or feel bad that negotiations are not going through with Fury and Joshua because of him. Because the writer had an interview or like something like that with the Wilder team, and of course they assured him like, no, Wilder's not taking any step aside money, and no, he's not gonna like feel bad if negotiations fall through with Joshua and Fury because he's next because of the contract, But Jonathan has a really good fucking podcast, and it's out every Monday. I think a new one's out now. I got the notification, so I usually listen to it like when my kids are going to sleep, so I can fucking pay attention. But it's a really good podcast. He's had Caleb Plant before. He's had like a bunch of fighters too, which it's a really good podcast. But Cancio, I need Cancio to catch a motherfucking break because you guys know how I feel about Golden Boy doing what they did to him.
Yeah, we know.
Golden Boy should be like, yes, look at this dude. Like, he took care of, what was it, Machado twice. Same manner, same punch, same fucking shot to the same place, like a body shot, and knocked him out like twice. I feel like Golden Boy and any promoter should reward those type of accomplishments. Like, yeah, look at this dude did this. And Top Rank kind of does that because we talked about this when Jesse was on the live with us, when it's like, okay, Jesse was up here and then he lost, and then they had Dog Bay up here because Dog Bay beat him. When Dog Bay beat Jesse for the championship, they signed Dog Bay. Top Rank signed Dog Bay after he beat Jesse, and then they had Dog Bay up here, and then Navarrete came along. I don't think anybody was expecting Navarrete to do that. Like, oh, who's this Mexican who already has a loss in his record? Right? And then he did what he did. Now Navarrete is up here with Bob Arum. Bob Arum has him like right here, like, oh, come here, Navarrete, like, I love you. Yeah. So it's like, yes, it's like, high and low, but I feel like Top Rank at least is rewarding those that like put up a fight and make like upsets and do this and that, because they're so easy to market, because if they pull up an upset or they do this, it's like, wow, like people remember this, and people are gonna, Cancio did that shit twice. He proved that it wasn't a fluke, something that Andy Ruiz couldn't do. That it was just some lucky punch or some lucky, or the other guy was having a bad night. So Cancio deserves a break, and for him, he didn't disrespect Golden Boy. All he said was like, I wish they'd put me like in like a better card, maybe in like a Canelo undercard or just like my own. Because Indio, I love the atmosphere in Indio, but it takes 2.5 hours for us to get there. Like in the LA area, and it's like, it takes longer, it feels like, to go and come back than like the time you spend there. And then there's not much like a media thing after, so it's like, I'm just fighting and then going home. So I feel like that's all he said, like, oh, I wish I would get like better cards. I'd put on maybe in like a Canelo undercard. He didn't disrespect Golden Boy like Canelo and Ryan did on Twitter. And Ryan got a lucrative deal, and Cancio got the boot. And don't get me wrong, like, and right after he lost, don't get me wrong, you know, like, it was historical for Nicaragua, for Rene Alvarado to do that, you know, to beat him on the same day, you know, that such a huge Nicaraguan legend became a champion. So it's like, wow, it's historical. But you don't gotta fucking give Cancio the boot, especially because he's like a really entertaining fighter. So Jonathan has had Cancio, I believe, twice on the podcast. And I love Cancio. I'm glad that Top Rank was the one that picked him up, right?
Yeah.
Right, it was Top Rank that picked up Cancio. That's good because at 130, like that's where you know they have a lot of the 130 guys. I feel like it's popping. I feel like he's gonna have more opportunities with Top Rank at 130. And I don't think Cancio's the type of guy who shies away from any fighter, and also from a losing. You know, like I don't think he's gonna give a fuck about losing.
Wait, wasn't he supposed to fight Tyler McCreary at some point?
And it didn't happen. I don't know. I don't remember why.
No. I think it's because of Corona or something. But I remember I was hearing about that.
Barbie, good vibes. Ruiz got caught up in the fame. He thought he would AJ again. I think Ruiz expected Joshua to be like mentally fucked up already. You know how Kovalev with the second Ward fight?
Maybe.
How like he was already like we could tell like that was not gonna happen again. I feel like that's what Andy assumed. Andy assumed that Joshua was just going to be mentally weak and just scared in there, which in my opinion, AJ was pretty scared. Like the one time that Ruiz was able to like do a little flurry on him, he was like fucking scared. Like I could tell he was scared, but he played it smart and he was, you know, he did what he had to do. I know people didn't like the fight. I personally thought it was fucking boring. But he did I'm not mad at him for doing what he had to do to get the W, you know? So yeah, I feel like he did get caught up in the fame. What his co-trainer had told me yesterday is that Manny Robles took him to Guadalajara to kind of be like, okay, let's step away from all the partying in LA, right? But then he was in Guadalajara and all the politicians were like, hey, Andy, come with us. The soccer teams, you know, Las Chivas were like, come to the stadium. And everybody was like inviting him to make appearances places. And of course, food was provided. Snacks were provided. Drinks were provided. So it's like, come on. Ruiz needs to take the light out of the refrigerator. His way was a joke. I know. And it's weird because there was so much speculation about his weight. People were like, "Oh, he's only doing that to like."
There was a lot.
I read on Twitter somewhere that he put supposedly stones in his like sweater because you know he didn't take his like shirt off or something like that to weigh in, right? And someone's like, "Oh, he had stuff in his pockets." I'm just like, the length that people will go to like reach is intense. What a coincidence, huh? Yeah, it was all ending the base enemy, but you know money. Thing is though, against Parker, I feel like he beat Parker.
That was a while ago.
I feel like he should have already been the first, you know, Mexican heavyweight champion because in my opinion, he did get the edge against Parker, but it was over there, so they're not going to give him the nod. However, I feel like that wouldn't have been as monumental as beating Joshua the way he did because yes, he beat Parker, but it was, I mean, I don't want to call it a robbery because you know it was a close fight. It was a really nice back and forth action. But I felt like Andy beat him, but it wasn't as monumental as what he did with AJ, you know? Cesaro would be a decent test for Usyk. Let's hope that fight happens. I love that first face-off when Usyk pulls out his little like disinfectant spray and just starts spraying everyone with it. They do a face-off and like that. I think Cesaro has a mask, but then literally Usyk turns around and he has like a little spray and he's just spraying everybody. And it was like right when the coronavirus shit was coming. So I'm like, I miss that. Is that Miguel from Twitter? Yes, it is Miguel from Twitter, but he pussied out. He doesn't want to be in the live. He wants his anonymous. I can't blame him. He could just put like he doesn't have to show. He could just put like a picture.
But even his voice, right?
Like I heard his voice. I know. I'm gonna just say it. I know what Miguel looks like.
Whoa, scandalous.
I got that Miguel Boxing Twitter exclusive. I know what he looks like. So, several trainers have said Andy had discipline problems. Well, yeah. he was like pretty good before that. Because I remember Andy when he first got to Manny Robles. He was fighting with Top Rank, and he was fighting in a lot of Fresno cards. And he would always be fighting in Fresno, and he'd be like really low in like the card. Like he'd be really early, and a lot of people would see him. Like the last fight with he also fought with Valdez Quig undercard, and it was like one of the first ones. People were not even there yet. And he got like a really quick knockout there too, and that's when he was barely starting to get back to being skinny. And I remember him being there at the gym super early. I remember one time he was gonna fight in Fresno, I think in the Ramirez undercard, and one of the photographers told me, "Hey, like Andy, can you come interview Andy? Be here on Friday at 7 because he gets here to do strength and conditioning." And I'm like, fuck, 7? Are you kidding me? But I still went. But I was like, fuck, like that's so early. Because I was used to just getting at the gym at like 10 because that's when like shit would be popping off. I don't need to be there when they're like barely getting ready and shit. Like I don't even see that. But I remember that he'd be there pretty early. So yes, I feel like it was mostly like the money and maybe he just got comfortable, you know? Maybe he's like, hey, my money's secured, win or not, in the second fight.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he's like, hey, he got them. I don't know how much he got paid with the first one. I'm pretty sure like a little over $1 million or maybe $2 million. I don't know. But he obviously got more in the second one. Not as much as AJ because that shit was ridiculous. But
yeah,
you know, like he said, whoever gets a fucking $1 million, like you're set. I don't care. You can buy a fucking house. And not pay rent anymore. Like, yeah, you can pay like your little maintenance fees and shit, but like if you buy a house, like just buy it, like just bam, it's my house. Imagine not paying rent. Like that must be awesome. That's a huge help, like owning a house. So it's like I felt like maybe he just got comfortable knowing that okay, my money's secured, win or lose. Like whether I look good or bad, I'm still gonna make money. But he should have just at least looked good. I wouldn't have been mad if he lost and like it was still like a back and forth fight and they eavesdropped each other or like they hurt each other. Like I wouldn't have been mad if he lost because whatever, you know, it's the heavyweights. Anything happens. But man, like you look like shit. Like you didn't even do nothing. You look like you were just following him around the ring like a little puppy dog. I did not like it one bit. So, you know, like imagine his, you know, I don't feel like his worth as a heavyweight would have suffered much if he would have lost in a better manner. Like he would have hurt AJ. Would have been back and forth. People would be like, damn, like Ruiz lost, but fuck, like I still love to see him fight somebody else, or he'd still give somebody else a good fight. Now you're just like, at least I'm like that. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Everyone wanted, I need to win a rematch. Everybody got pissed, and it's hard to, yeah, like especially I feel like if this is monumental, you became the first Mexican heavyweight champion ever. And you do that, like you're not gonna like feel some sense of like urgency to want to maintain your status as champion and keep your reign going because you literally only have held the belt for like what, 4 months? Let's see, it was in June, right? June.
Yeah, it was like 6.
July.
Right?
August. September. October. November. It's 7 months. So it's just like, for what? How would you grade Jaime Munguia's career so far? What's in the ceiling? I see your book. With Munguia, it's a really interesting case because Munguia's still very green and he's young. How old is Munguia? Like 23? He's like 23 or 20. I don't think he's 24.
Yeah, I forget, man.
23 years old. Munguia is like a
22.
really weird case because Munguia came to people's, you know, I guess, boxing world, when he was supposed to, well, Triple G was trying to fight him when Canelo got popped for clenbuterol and he needed like an opponent, you know, last minute opponent. So they were trying to get Jaime Munguia to fight him. Now, a lot of people were not familiar with Jaime. I know Jaime because I used to live in TJ and he's from I knew who he was. So I was like, why are they trying to get this kid? Like, this kid has never fought at 160. He's never fought 12 rounds. He's never fought anybody that's never lost before. He's never gone like the distance. So why are they trying to get this kid to fight Triple G? Like, that's career ending shit. Like, don't do it. And I was so relieved when the commission was like, yeah, no. I was very relieved for him. But Jaime's really weird because then Golden Boy came along and was like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll give you like a shot with Ali, Saddam Ali. And look what he did. And it was all size. He's so short. He's like little. So Munguia, being this huge guy that he is, he definitely fucked him up. And then he fought 5 times in 2018. That's crazy. That's crazy busy. You know, and I feel like he did 5 times. He did so well in 2018, and then 2019 came along, and he started getting tested more, and people started kind of disregarding him. They're like, oh, whatever, like, just a come-forward guy. Like, he's going to get knocked out eventually by anybody who's, you know, got a heavier punch than he does. But I can't be mad at that kid, you know? I think I've said it in different lives before where him and Oscar Valdez are going through, like, a similar thing where they switched some trainers because now Jaime's training with Eric Morales, right? The whole Tijuana thing. They're now together in Tijuana. It's pretty great. Shit. That's awesome to say that Eric Morales is your fucking trainer. That's awesome. But it's similar, you know, they're trying to impose a more defensive style on them. Oscar Valdez is trying to be more defensive, and so is Munguia. And if you guys remember Munguia against Spike O'Sullivan, he got a lot of backlash because people were expecting him to knock him out in like the first 2-3 rounds, right? And everybody was like, oh, this is going to be a quick fight. This is top cherry picking at its finest, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, no, Spike O'Sullivan was there and he gave it his best shots. He didn't look too bad. But people were expecting Munguia to knock him out. But if you see at some points, he had him hurt and he didn't finish him. And when they asked him in the post-fight, he said, well, I was looking at my corner because I didn't know if to finish him or not. Like, they told me to, like, not get crazy, not get reckless. And it's the same with Oscar. I feel like they're both kind of just confused right now in their style. Difference is Munguia has the power to be able to be an equalizer, to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to maybe go the distance, but I can end this if I want to when he has his opponent hurt. Valdez doesn't have that power. He has decent punching power, but not the best, especially not at 130. So I feel like that's where they're different. You know, they're both kind of trying to be more defensive because they're so heavy on the Mexican come forward style, and I'll take 2 punches so I can just give you one. But Munguia has more of a puncher's shot. He has more of a puncher's shot. Now, 160, I don't know about that. And I know he's really big for 154 because when I went to his strength and conditioning camp, I asked his trainer, I'm like, how much does he weigh? Because he's tall as fuck and he looks big. I'm like, not like fat, but he doesn't look 154. And I asked him, like, and he mouthed at me 172. So I was like,
how many weeks out was that? How many weeks out was that from like a fight? Or was that just like
no, that was fights? They were in camp. I forgot for what fight. It was in the summer, last summer. So I'm guessing before his fight in Mexico, I think. You know, he had the fight with Hogan in Mexico that he lost. I thought he lost. He was training for that, but it wasn't like, oh, almost coming. But I think he had just started strength and conditioning. Okay. And he mouthed at me 172, and I was just like, and his fight is at 154. Like, that's fucking crazy. I don't know.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, so obviously it was inevitable that he would move up to 160. But now looking at how much he struggled with not the best competition at 154, then you can only imagine how he will do. And it's intriguing to find out how he'll do at 160. Because the 154 division, we always talk about it, it's in shambles. Like, not in a bad way, in shambles in a good way, because you never know who's going to win. Look at all these upsets. Banana, what he did, that was amazing. So it's just like, he had a better shot at 154 in my opinion, than at 160, even though the move up to 160 was inevitable, basically. Get him in there with White or Ortiz. Andy, any
I
of
would
them.
like to see Andy.
Yeah, I hope that happens. Maybe
This is the
Wilder.
boom.
Okay.
The boom too.
Both him and Wilder are PBC. Maybe they can go on PBC and do like a whole little PBC belt. You know how they're supposedly PBC was gonna have their own belts?
I'm not even sure how real that was. I still want to know what the heck that was.
You know, it's just like, you know how like on Twitter, either like people love PBC or they hate PBC. There's rarely an in-between. I'm an in-between. I'm not like huge on the whole promoters and networks thing. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about the promoters, networks, pay-per-view numbers. Like, I don't get why people do. Like, are you getting a cut of this? Like, what do you get? But people are like, if somebody likes PBC fighters or PBC people are like, oh my God, like Al Heyman's terrible for boxing, blah, blah. And then the people that don't, it's usually because they like Top Rank. You know, it's like, why can't you guys like both at the same time? Like, I don't understand. But supposedly they're gonna have their own belts and shit. Fuck it, do like a belt for PBC heavyweight and have like Andy and Wilder fight for it. Dumbest thing was when they started saying get mad at Joshua. Come on, let's fight. Oh yeah, but come on, Joshua. What? No, like he knew what he had to do. I can't be mad at Joshua. You know.
That was discipline. That was a disciplined performance. That's what I say.
Yeah, like he did what he had to do. I can't be mad at him. He stayed.
And man, every time a fighter's like, "Come on, let's fight" in the middle of the ring, they're always the one that loses. They're always. When was the last time a fighter did that and they were like winning and they won?
I don't think I've ever seen a fighter does that win. But
they always lose, dude.
It's like maybe if you were in better shape, you would have been able to cut off the fucking ring and make the fight happen. But you weren't.
Right? Like, yeah, exactly right.
Like it's up
and then
to
they're
you.
like, they get mad. Then they get mad that they didn't stay there and fight with them and like ball it out and stuff.
I never understand that. It's like they did the same with Canelo and Triple G. It's like, oh, you know, I'm like, what? You guys want Canelo to stand in front of Triple G, who's knocked out like almost every fucking opponent? You want him to just be like, yeah, sure, let me just. I mean, I love Triple G, as you can see, but for you, were y'all really expecting Canelo to be like, yeah, sure, Triple G, like get a clean one on me right here, and I'll try to hit you back. Like people are crazy. Most of the 154 pounds look pretty big. I heard, but Munguia did look drained. Yeah, Munguia always looked like this. I would have loved to see Hurt against Munguia because they both got like pretty shitty defense. Like they did not. I don't want to say they have shitty defense. They just don't use it. Like their offense is their defense. They'll like just take a and keep going forward. That would have been
like yeah.
But you know, they had other plans for him.
I would like to see it.
PBC's Logan, we're all until they send us contracts for a fight. I don't get it. All right, Joey Lade, have we discussed Tyson Holyfield rumors? Yeah, I think it would be great if it's like what do they call it? Exhibition?
Yes, exhibition fights. That's what I want it to be, right?
You know what I love? How he's like, why are all these memes coming out of me only having one ear?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Because there's like a bunch of memes where it's like, damn it, Tyson, and it's like him trying to put on the mouth, you know, like their face mask for the coronavirus, but he only has one ear, supposedly. I don't know why he would think that. But he's like, why do you guys say that I only have one ear? And he's like, he bit my ear, not bit it off. And he basically is like, see, and he puts on a mask. I thought that was fucking iconic. Like, I love that shit, that he did that. But I mean, realistically speaking, I would love to see a fucking exhibition. Supposedly, you know, Travis Sr. and De La Hoya are supposedly trying to do exhibition for charity too. We've seen Travieso Arce and De La Hoya do 2 exhibition matches, and they're so much fun. So I would love to see that. I agree with you. I don't understand these promotional groupies in the boxing Twitter. In boxing the bet. I read boxing. They mostly on boxing Twitter though. Like, I just want good fights, you know. And all promotional companies and all networks are good and bad for boxing, and they all got their own issues. You know, like we can't say that it's just PBC that doesn't get their fighters to fight outside of their own stable. We can't say it's just them. Plus, I like that. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, PPC." PPC is just the name of the TV show associated with the free. Like it's not free that much anymore with the pay-per-views, but they're the ones that make it accessible when they put the fights on Channel 11 on like prime time, right? But a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's bad because they only fight each other," and I feel like by now we know that if a fighter wants to make a fight happen, they'll make it happen. Especially with Andy with AJ. Andy's PBC. I mean, he was top ranked before, but then he was PBC. And then with Ramirez and Hooker. Those were two networks coming together, Wilder and Fury. Two networks. So I feel like a fighter should be the boss, not your promoter, not your network that you fight on. You should be the one to pick who you want to fight. And then negotiate. Send an actual fucking contract, because I'm tired of everybody calling out each other, but they never really send out a contract. Never. Because I feel like that would be the ultimate bragging rights. If either Spence or Crawford, because I like them both, and I feel like that's another huge thing on boxing Twitter that relates to the boxing promotional groupies. Because if they like Top Rank and hate PBC, they're gonna love Crawford, right? And it's mostly like the PBC people that love PBC love Spence. And it's like, I love them both. Like, I would feel like that fight would be very 50-50. I would love to see that fight. Like, that's a great fight. Why do you got to associate it to who they're with? So with them, it's like, if either Crawford or Spence were to write up like a decent contract and be like, hey, at least you're making a motion more than just Twitter fingers. You're making a motion to be like, hey, I'm serious about this. Here's the contract. Let me know what you think of it, and then send it back. And if you don't want to sign it, let me know why. Instead of just like, oh, I want to fight this guy. Oh, you're on the other side of the street. Like, what side of the fucking street? Cross that bitch. Cross the street. Fighters should be able to pick who they want to fight, and I don't blame it on promotional company. Top Rank does it. I mean, look at Crawford. Who is Crawford going to fight? At least PBC has a whole thing where like, oh, fuck. I mean, it's not the fights that we asked for. It's not the fights we specifically want. But they can pick a whole ass tournament on the 147 division. And it'd be lit. And it's not Crawford's fault that PBC has most of the welterweights. But it's also not like, if I'm Crawford, I'm like, maybe I should become a free agent just to like get these fights. And then maybe if I want to get a Top Rank later, I can go back to Top Rank. I'm not saying he has to do that. He shouldn't be able to. He shouldn't be, forced to do that. But if I'm him, I'm like, I do want to fight the best and I do want to prove shit. So let me do what I can. And I don't think Crawford, I don't know, I think he has such a good chance against anybody that I don't get why he's not doing it. But again, I'm not blaming Top Rank. I'm not blaming PBC. They all do it. They all do it. There's a bunch of people who hate the zone. They hate the zone. And in my opinion, I like the zone. It's only like $100. I'm not paying for it. I use somebody else's. But if I had to, I would pay $100. You got Canelo. You got AJ. You got Triple G. You got, all the low fucking flyweights and super flyweights. Those are fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. You got all the Russian motherfuckers who are like crazy good. So it's like,
and the super series.
Good ass deal. And even if you're doing like a monthly thing, most pay-per-views are like $80. Let's say you only want to watch certain fights. That's $20 still for that month, And most of the time, AJ and Canelo fight almost back to back. So it's like, you're probably going to get both of them for $20. I don't get why people hate the zone, but they do. And I feel like the zone has shown pretty good availability to fight with other, to kind of team up with. Just PBC is the one that they don't, and why, I don't know. But I don't know enough. I'm not there. I'm not fucking in the rooms with them discussing what the hell is going on. So why would I have an input on who's ducking who or what promotional company is to blame? I'm not there. I don't know what's going on, but everybody on Twitter is like super pro PBC or against PBC or pro Top Rank or love Top Rank or just fucking hate the zone. Like I haven't seen a lot of people like the zone. I see most people like they fucking hate the zone. Besides those people that were posting. Remember when the media all posted the same tweet about the zone?
What?
They're like, "Oh, the zone turned out to be
Oh,
such a great deal."
dude, that was weird.
Almost copy paste.
That was weird. I did not get
It
that.
was like Raging Babe, Mike Carpenter. Who else?
I remember Raging Babe doing it,
Yeah, but it was
like specifically her. Yeah, it was like a number of people. Yeah.
world people, and then obviously everybody else with their memes. Like they started posting their own versions of it, but it was like so similar. That was creepy. Canelo versus Ward. I personally don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. Like leave Ward retired, please. Like
I think he meant like fantasy type.
what kind? What?
Fantasy type fight. Like I think he meant like if it was a fantasy type. Yeah, I know.
I mean, this one maybe Ward would come out of retirement for it. I don't know. Did you guys notice Ward was like he was so critical of like the Canelo versus Kovalev fight? Do you think it was in this case going back to like the original question that opened the live, which was like, is there jealousy there? That everybody knew Kovalev was gonna lose, but maybe he's like, well, I want to lose and get money. I mean, I think that'd be a good fight because Ward is so good tactically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be a crazy test for Canelo. I think the only thing is the inactivity. But if it'd be like Ward back, you know, Super 6, I would have Ward. You know, I would have Ward over Canelo. But now, I don't know. There's an activity and all the shit that you got to put into it. But I don't want to see that. But I do feel like he was acting a little bit salty with Canelo and Kovalev. And I feel like maybe because he was like jealous that Kovalev was making so much money. Because remember, when he fought him, he made sure that Kovalev didn't get any money. That Kovalev got peanuts in that fight. Like he did not want to have Kovalev paid. He did not like do any promotion for that fight because he didn't give a fuck. Remember, they were supposed to have like an HBO little press conference or little something for the HBO special, and he was in the Canelo Chavez fight. Ward, like he did not give a fuck. He was supposed to be filming something with HBO with him and Kovalev, and he was in Vegas. Like he did not give a fuck. You know, but I just don't. I mean, a lot of people speculate on that. A Ward coming out of retirement to whoop Canelo's ass. I feel like that would be Canelo haters' dream. Like it just themselves. And Ward
that's like
out of retirement and be Canelo.
Wouldn't an Arthur Beterbiev fight be a Canelo hater's dream?
Well, yeah, because he would get knocked the fuck out, laid out.
Exactly, and that would be like that would be more plausible and like just you know.
Yeah, but it's more plausible for Canelo to take a fight against Ward than against Beterbiev. I don't see him taking a fucking fight against Beterbiev. Like it's just not realistic. With Ward, I see him being like, yeah, sure, like fuck it, I'll fight Ward. Because again, like the old age and all of that, but I don't think Canelo would never fight Beterbiev. That's a death wish.
Remember, he was even talking about going to cruiserweight. He was like, maybe I could go to Canelo. He like said that once. I was like, dude, what? He was like, I want to rule out cruiserweight.
He's fucking weird. Like I don't know. Like I think that pisses me off because I'm like, yo, there's so many fucking names at 160. Or 168 that I want to see you fight. Stop going jumping.
I know, right? Like, you got a lot of fight left.
Yeah, like I want him to go down to 168 and then go still down to 160 after 168. Like do a couple fights at 168, but I still want to see him at 160. I want to see Canelo 160 so bad.
You think he didn't go back to 160 at some point in his career?
I would like him to. I feel like people are never gonna stop talking shit about Canelo. You know, he's never gonna make people happy. But I would love to see him against Charlo.
That'd be nice. But I feel like Charlo would go to 168.
Yeah, Charlo can move up some too. But you know, like Boo Boo and Charlo, just to shut people up, whether in a good or bad, either shut up his haters or shut up, you know, his, you know, like the other guys. Like, I just want that fight. I just want to know. I want him to go back down to 160 eventually and do that, and then move, 168 and then finish there. Because 175 with these Russians, I don't see it. I don't see it. Do you see Canelo fighting at 160 again? Oh, we're just talking about that.
Yeah, you're just
Not go up at 168. Kovalev was done, I think. Yeah, I don't think he should be at 175. He's definitely pushing it. It was a strategic move to fight Kovalev. Kovalev, of course, he can. I don't know. That fight was weird to me. I wish Kovalev would have just been like, whatever. If I get knocked the fuck out, but I'm gonna still go hard on this motherfucker. But
I really don't think Kovalev has it in him to do that.
no, it's and he showed it
He
like
doesn't.
in the post fight when he's like, "Oh, you guys are dumb if you guys thought that I was gonna be like what." Your trainer believed in you. Your trainer had a plan for you that lasted you that fucking long, by the way. So why are you saying that? Like, you dick? Like, to me, Kovalev, I used to love Kovalev. Like, I used to have a hat that said Kovalev on it that I got.
I'm sure.
I love Kovalev.
Sure.
But to me, it's like, ew. Like, I can't be behind. Like, I can like a fighter, and they could be like, but if they start acting stupid, I'm not going to be like blindly like, no. And we see that shit on Twitter a lot, too, where like fighters can't do wrong when they're your favorites, right? Spence, like people love him, and when he's let's be honest, Spence been doing some dumb shit, and people love him, and people defend him, and people like would just want to defend his honor, like that's their grandpa or something. That like it's crazy pants. I can't do that. I'm not gonna look stupid just so I could defend a fighter who doesn't even give a fuck about my existence. Like I'm not. That's not gonna be
exactly right.
That's not gonna be me. So when Kovalev started like being a sore loser. I mean, he did that shit way back, but especially with Canelo, I'm like, ew, like, why are you doing this, bro? Like, you were very capable of turning that fight around and pulling up a fucking upset and like just being like, yeah, motherfucker, you try to go up to 175 because look what happened to you. But no, instead he just was weakly minded, of course. And I was like, yeah, you guys are dumb for thinking I just did it for the money, ha ha ha. Oh, and then I hate when they're like, oh, it was too soon. So then why take the fight, motherfucker? Like. I don't like when people say that. I don't like when people do that. When people say, "Oh yeah, well, it was too soon. It was too soon in the fight. Like I just had a fight." So then, wait, because I'm pretty sure Canelo would have waited for you. He waited for you obviously because you fucking they were supposed to fight before, not in November. So he waited for you to fight your fucking mandatory. If he waited for you to fight your mandatory, he would have fucking waited for you. Because he wanted to shot your title. So I didn't like he's a sore ass loser. I can't. But I do agree with you, Claudia. I don't think Canelo beats anybody else at 175. Bivol would probably be the closest one that he can beat, but because Bivol is a small 175, Bivol should be down to 168, to be honest. He's small.
Yeah, I'd like to see him at 168.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Nice shirt. The guy who made these shirts, he disappeared from social media. And I think maybe because getting like, I don't know, horse fighters would probably be like, don't make shirts. I know Triple G though, he did like the guy made it. I forgot, and I feel bad because I forgot what the guy was called that made these. I forgot what it was called. But Triple G actually adopted this design and started selling this on his merchandise page. And he made one that said Lomachenko, but like in the Thrasher font. Like the Thrasher logo?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He made one that said Lomachenko, and I wanted it so bad with like the flames. And then he disappeared. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot what it was called. But I remember like going back to a store and everything was closed. His Instagram was gone. Like everything was gone. He also had one that like the thank you purse, not purses, plastic bags that you get like at the Chinese food store. It says thank you. It's like white, and then it's like the red font that says thank you. And like when you get taken to Chinese food store, he had one that says no Maschenko. He had like really cool like no Maschenko and Lomachenko stuff. He had a bunch of Triple G shit. I have a shirt that I can't wear anymore because I got in trouble for Golden Boy because they found out that said Canelo's fresh meat or something like that.
Well,
Remember that shirt?
I don't think I've seen that shirt.
Yeah, I can't. I wore it one time, and I posted like a picture of it, and Golden Boy was like so mad at me. And that was before I was media. But
They
they
like
found
email
out.
you or something?
No, they told me, and like it was like Joette was fighting at the Velasco. I
Oh,
forgot
you read
her name.
in that
And back
event.
then they didn't have Gabe. They had some girl as a PR person. What was her name? Judy, Jenny. I don't know. She was a bitch. And she like pulled me aside and she's like, "Oh, we saw what you posted." And then she showed me. She like got her phone and she showed me the picture of me wearing the fucking shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't even tag nobody. Like it was just a story of me wearing the shirt, and it said Canelo's meat business or something like that. And then it says, "We'll do the hard work for you." And it was like a picture of a steak on it. But it was really cool. I'm gonna try to find it and show it to you guys later. It's cool ass shirt. Like the printing is awesome. It's just Canelo's something. Like they were mad.
Wow.
They were mad. And that guy made those shirts too. I have a couple shirts by that guy. Oh, the fucking ref shirts. You know, I have the shirt of like Tony Weeks on it, and it was in the Vadu Jack fight where his like fucking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen
And
that
then I
shirt.
have a Steve Willis one. He did those too. So I
That's
don't know
cool,
what
man.
happened. Those were good shirts. Have you heard about any fights? No, I have not heard of any fights officially made, but we do see that a bunch of fighters are back in camp, which has to be good, right? If they're back in camp, I feel like maybe they know that eventually, maybe as early as next month, they can start having fights in like a studio setting. And then in the Against the Ropes stream yesterday, somebody suggested that they like rent out the Dodger Stadium, especially since right now there's nothing going on at the Dodger Stadium. Like they're not using it for baseball. Baseball might get fucking canceled if nothing gets brought on in 2 weeks. So it's like, yeah, they can at least make money by renting out the area, but to me, I feel like they're gonna choose to more of a studio setting. Like literally like the Velasco where it's just like a room and the ring and then the camera people. I don't think they're even gonna have like much media around. It's mostly gonna be like the camera people and the paramedics and the whole Dana White stuff. You saw that UFC? I did not see that UFC. I was at my uncle's house and he has like really shitty internet and I tried to stream it and it was not happening. So I hate like having like buffering. I'm like, I'm just gonna give up. Honestly, I don't really give a fuck to like watch it. I don't get it. It's not my thing. But I do feel like, it does set a pace for maybe other sports to be like trying to take that route. I know there was an upset in the UFC stuff. People were like mad about one of
Oh,
the
was it like the Was it
yeah,
the Ferguson fight?
Ferguson. Yeah, because they're saying, "Oh, now he's not gonna fight Kebab," and I'm like, "Oh, that
Come
sucks."
on.
I'm like,
Hey, you know,
I when he fought McMuffin, those are my favorite memes of all time. Like I don't even know UFC like that, but those memes had me so fucking dead. Cause remember how Drake was with McMuffin?
uh, yeah,
Drake
yeah, I
was
think I
like with
remember that.
McMuffin, like in his little locker or whatever. And then he walked out with McMuffin, I think. And it's funny because you know how like that picture where Khabib is like on top of the cage thing of the octagon and he's like pointing at somebody in the crowd. And then like you can see that meme of Drake looking up like in the crowd. Like they put that together. Oh my god, that shit was the funniest shit ever. I love those memes. And then like another one who's like, oh, when you hear somebody call you kebab from the crowd, and he's like on. I love that. And then they had drama. Like that was a good UFC event when Kebab fought McMuffin. Like there was drama after. Like that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
top notch entertainment. It's like WWE, but it's real. It's like they do hate each other, and he is about to go like slamming on the other trainer guy.
He be
La Vaca,
jumping, man.
Kitaka, one has to go. I think Kitaka can go. La Vaca's like an anthem at like quinceañeras and weddings. Kitaka, I feel like that's more like South America for me. Or like Central America. La Vaca, even though they are also from like the people who sing that is called Oro Solido, right? Right? Or is that
Yeah, right.
they're also
Well,
like,
I know they did that song
I
once.
think they're also from Central America. But it was very popular in Mexico. So I would say
Well, wouldn't it be Caribbean then?
oh, you're right. Are
Because
they?
Little Solido's Dominican.
They're Dominican?
Are they not?
I thought they were like Salvadorian or something like that.
They're like La República Dominicana.
That's true. That's true. That would be Caribbean. Boxing fan, I just want to say I miss Bernard Hopkins. Oh, what a character. Well, Bernard Hopkins came up again when Devin Haney said, "Oh, I would never let a white boy beat me," or something like that. And they're talking about Ryan, and he said that about Ryan, right?
No, he did not say that.
He said about Lomachenko.
Yeah.
He said about Lomachenko, like I would never let him beat me. And
Never
that's
let the white boy beat me.
and he got a fucking clown. So it's like, oh no, Malafe, you're right. Malafe, La Vaca. Ooh, La Vaca. Yeah, that's Malafe. But they're also like somewhere over there. They're not Mexican. I know that much. Mexicans are like Mexican más aplauda. That's Mexican. But you could tell in like the rhythm that's like not Mexican. It's better. Yeah, Bernard Hopkins was a character. I mean, it's crazy to me how he like beat De La Hoya's ass, and then they're like partners now with Golden Boy.
Remember? Hold on, wait.
Gross.
You remember when he was fighting Tito, right? And then he was in Puerto Rico, and they were doing like I don't even know what it was. They were in like some sort of like gymnasium, and then freaking Hopkins he throws like the Puerto Rican flag on the ground, and he's like starts running or something. Dude, you don't see that anymore.
No, remember when Kovalev was trying to knock him out, and he was like sticking out his tongue at Kovalev, was trying so hard to knock him out. Like Kovalev was trying so hard to knock out Hopkins, and he was just like he was literally like, I don't give a fuck about you. He's just iconic. And even the way on his last fight, he went out iconic because Smith, his name's Smith, right, Junior? What's his first name?
Yeah,
What's
it's
his
like
I don't forget.
It was like something basic too. It was like
John.
Nah, it was like
it was something basic. Josh. He fought Bivol. I remember that.
Yeah, Dimitri Bivol versus like I forget. Here, I can look that up actually.
Guys, remind us what his name is. John Smith Jr., Josh, Joseph. No, I don't know what his name is. What's his name? Joe Smith Jr.?
No, yeah, just Joe. It was just Joe. It was just Joe Smith Jr.
Joe Smith Jr. Yes. See, Against the Ropes always has the fucking answers. Let's be honest here. Whenever we're like,
he does.
Always like, bam, this. You're right. It is Joe Smith Jr.
Got the
just like right after that, like on Monday, he was like Cancio. He went back to work. He works construction or something like that, or like concrete. I don't know. He was out there in the fucking outside holding the belt and with like a helmet on. Like he went right back to work after that fight with Bernard Hopkins. And then he hurt Bivol. Remember Bivol against him in the 10th round? Like
dude, he hurt him. He caught him. Dude.
And he's like walking to his corner all stupid.
Dude, he looked so out of it, man. Like, swear, if that had been like only a minute in,
he was like,
I swear, I think I saw his face right. It's like when you're sleeping, you're just like,
yeah, he looked out of it. I remember who did that? When was it Danny Garcia when he was fighting Thurman and Thurman like had to tell him what his corner was? He was walking to the wrong corner. I remember.
I don't remember
if it was with Thurman or with somebody else. Where he was like, Thurman was literally like, your corner is over there, type of shit. Like, that's crazy. The YouTube delay ruined my quick answers. Hey, well, you still got it before we even looked it up. So
I mean, yeah.
No. But I remember that's like, how do you guys think it's so hard that they're just like so? But I'm glad it was in the end of the 10th round, if I'm not mistaken. So he only had to survive like 2 more rounds.
It was like the 9th. It was like 9th, I think.
9 going to 10.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, yo, See, and against the ropes again, Keith told Danny the wrong way. I feel like the Danny and Keith beef is probably one of my favorite beefs in like the recent times. Because remember how that whole build up to me is like sometimes I'm like sad. I'm like, let me watch either I watch the Broner Maidana build up or I watch that build up. And that makes me feel so much better. Remember when when he was like, I ain't no cherry, I ain't not for the pickings, boy, or something like that. He told like he wouldn't I forgot who Danny had just beat. And Keith went up there. He's like, I ain't no cherry. I ain't no cherry. I ain't fresh for the pickings. And it was so fucking funny to me. And then with the post weigh-in face off, Danny tries to like do this to Keith, and like Keith doesn't even flinch. Do you remember that? That's like my favorite fucking thing in the recent time.
I remember that.
He literally like goes like this to like try to like they're like staring at each other, just this, and he does not even blink. He's just like right there. I love that. That's like probably one of her moments.
Remember when Danny was talking about his no left? I mean, when Keith Stern was talking about Danny's no left.
He's like he held it like this, and honestly, like that was my favorite like recent beef. Like they're so fucking funny. I love them.
No, you know what? You know what was funnier to me? It was freaking Charlo versus Harrison.
Oh my god!
They just hate each other.
But yeah, that's what I mean. That was like real animosity. I feel like Danny and Thurman, they're more like like it was trash talk, and they didn't like each other, but not like Harrison and
they really like don't respect each other at all.
Emotional ass.
Remember Charlo was like look at him, pitiful. He's pitiful. Dude, they're like
there's an account on Twitter now. It's like it says Charlo's burner.
Yeah, his burner.
I love that account low key because it's not because like of what they do, because it's dumb. I hate anonymous people, but like Miguel, no. But I hate when like people just use shit to like talk shit, right? But I love the videos because Charlo's fucking funny. Like he's just a funny. So that video that he posted when he's making fun of Ryan when he's like hitting the pads, and he's like, like, oh man, that dude's fucking funny. Like that dude is fucking funny, and that's why I feel like it should have just been a no context Charlo type of account. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking talk shit. It should be like it's like they did the one with Eddie Hearn, like that. He's a funny ass dude. Remember how Harrison was like, oh, I could tell your brother would beat your ass, and like it got so personal.
They really don't like each other, man.
We were all there, and we're just like, and then we like people laughed about it, and I think I told you guys about this. Like when we had like a little roundup with Charlo, he was like, I saw you guys fucking laughing at it. Like he was mad that we laughed about that. Like he's like, I see y'all little interviews with him. Like you guys try to hype him up, and we're just like. Like he was mad. I think that was Flood versus Maidana. That did what? I'm confusion. Sorry, we're late. Peace out, everyone. Hang in there. Bye, David. See you on Twitter.
See ya.
Do triceps matter in boxing? I have no.
I mean, they don't have to be knowledge
in the fitness community, so I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you have to have like triceps. You have to be able to punch. Like they can't be weak. They can't be weak. I'll say that.
I don't know nothing. Kittens only. Who said that to them? Was it Harrison too that said that to them? Kitties only.
I'm not sure.
I remember like people make all their Coke jokes about them too. That's nice. Triceps gotta look good for the cameras. No one. Triceps look as good as Pacquiao's calves, though. Like those are like the size of a baby. They're like the size of a newborn baby.
Nice calves.
Maidana went to the wrong corner and oh, really? I don't remember that.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna have to go back to that. Oh wait, no. I'm pretty sure that's probably him then. But I think Danny did that too with Thurman. What's up with people doing that shit? Like, están norteados, que chingado.
I don't even know what to like. What? Yeah, what do you think of at that point? Like, damn, he gave me that one punch like 1 minute into the fight, and just like, what are you like? Just zoned out or something?
That's what I mean. Like los nortearon. Like the punch is just like fuck, because that's embarrassing. Okay. Who's that soy boy Mexican? Soy boy? I like
I don't
soy.
know.
I like
I
they're probably
mean,
from me or you
Soy's
because
all right. Soy's all
people
right.
always telling me I look like a boy. My Dana went to the wrong corner. Oh, that's the same one I picked. That second fight was really weird because, in my opinion, Floyd already had Maidana basically all figured out, but then he staggered him in that fight. Didn't Maidana like stagger Floyd?
But it
Like,
wasn't the second fight, was it?
that wasn't the second fight. It was in the first.
Was
But yeah, Floyd basically had them all figured out already. It wasn't. I don't know. It was more of a. I mean, I don't. I also don't like when people call it the. I hate when people are like, "Oh, Floyd's money," when referring to Maidana like living the good life. People are like, "Oh yeah, he's living good with Floyd's money or that Floyd money, that Mayweather money." I'm like, "Fuck that. He earned that shit." He to me like he did that shit with Broner. He fought everybody. Morales, Khan, like Jose. Yeah, he lost. Ortiz, and some of them he lost, but he still looked good. You know what I mean? It's not like he looked like shit. Is it true Canelo's 5'7" in real life? I think he's a little bit taller than that.
yeah, pretty much just about.
I don't. Maybe 5'8",
Well,
5'9".
it's like he's like 5'9" on like box rec or something.
He's not that tall.
Wow.
He's not like that tall. Like I don't think he's that tall. He knocked out
Not
his.
that it's too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
supposedly.
Was that true? I don't think it's true because why are they barely talking about it now? I feel like that would have been huge news back then.
Exactly right. Right.
And then he would have put that shit on like eBay, and then more people would have like won. They would, you know what I mean? Like they would have won. He would have won a lot
Oh
of
my
money.
gosh,
On
that'd
eBay.
been weird.
I don't
Isn't
think
it?
that. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I really don't think that's true. And then like supposedly put on a necklace. Like, why would you carry
Oh
someone's
yeah,
tooth on a necklace
that's
around
just
your neck?
weird. That's just I
That's
don't
so
know.
creepy. I don't like that. It's so weird. Yes, the second fight at the end of the round, unfortunately. So he basically did what Mosley did, or Shane Mosley did with Floyd. It was like towards the end of the round. But I don't know. Floyd, I don't think anybody's gonna.
Now Mosley's is worse. Mosley had him.
Yeah, Mosley
Mosley
had.
had him jelly.
I wonder. You can imagine if like, because Floyd's never been dropped, right? Was he dropped?
They say his glove touched the canvas against Zab Judah.
I remember people making a whole thread about that on Twitter. But it's more like speculation or people are gonna defend that, like that meme I posted with defending Floyd's honor. So I don't know. I don't know if like that could be a thing, but I was trying to get Rollies on here and he had told me yes, and that's why I didn't post. He's just so unreliable, so I didn't post it. I had a whole graphic done and I'm like, I'm not gonna post it because like I just know he's unreliable. And then on Monday I'm like, hey, this is the thing I'm gonna post. It's like, just come here and do the interview here. He wants me to go to Vegas and like interview everybody in his gym. I'm like, Rollies, no offense, I'm not gonna fucking go out there right now. It's like coronavirus, and I know in like Vegas, the mayor was like lifting everybody's like quarantine, and they were trying to get them to go out. And it's like, oh, there's not any case. He was telling me that there was no cases of coronavirus in Las Vegas. I'm like, Rollies, I'm
true?
not. He's lying. And I was just Snapchatting him earlier, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking go to Vegas just to get an interview. Like, I can get an interview when this is all over, and then I will interview you, and we could have a good time. But to like just go out there for like an interview, like that's the point of the live. But I'm like, I don't want to like be asking him and shit. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna fucking go out there. It did look like a tooth fell out of his mouth for either spit. Spit and mocos always fly out of their fucking mouths.
It could have also been Vaseline, because sometimes they'd be putting Vaseline in the corner.
Yeah, that too. It's weird because when Canelo knocks out Americana, you can see his fucking mocos out his nose.
Yeah.
Like that shit was crazy. But I mean, I didn't see a tooth. I saw when I never saw anything fly out. I saw when he bit him. Mayweather survived most of the round versus Mosley. I don't remember what round it was.
I think it was like 7 or something. Or
So
something in the middle.
I believe, and the one against Judah didn't count. Who did he
Yeah.
get dropped by against the rope, since you're like the encyclopedia? Floyd took a knee once early in his career because he hurt his hand and he was never stopped. Never dropped. I'm gonna have to look that up. I was never really a fan of Floyd. Because I grew up in Mexico, so I knew Floyd when he fought like Mexicans. Because I grew up in Mexico, so I wasn't really aware, of like him as like doing any other things. But then when I moved here, I was like, oh shit, like other weight classes and other champions exist. Please tell me more. So that was pretty great. But I do see people posting like threads and threads and threads on Twitter about how the Zab Judah one. The Zab Judah one where when he dropped that, they're like, oh yeah, his glove did touch the canvas. And Zab Judah was pretty entertaining. Who punched him in the dick? Was it Cotto? Remember that? Somebody punched him in the dick.
Might have.
I just remember somebody punched Zab Judah in the dick, or he punched Mayweather in the dick.
Oh, Zab Judah?
Right?
No, yeah, he did. Cause then Roger got into the ring, right?
I'm pretty sure he like hit Mayweather like right in the dick. When was your sex change surgery? It was May 27th of 2019. Don't remember against who, but it was early. I'm gonna have to go way back, and yeah, it was Cotto. See, so I see like just hitting two guys, because I remember him doing it to Floyd too. Was he just that guy that like hit dudes below? Could also been the cute versus Judah because Floyd's corner tried to ambush Judah. Just like remember with Uzcategui, was it Jarrell's uncle, right?
Yeah, but that was after the fight.
Uzcategui and like
wasn't that?
Punched him.
That was after.
Yeah, and that was nice of Uzcategui to drop.
That was during the fight.
Like he dropped the charges after like he was on the run and he eventually turned himself in. But if I was Uzcategui, I would have still. I've been like, yeah, lock that motherfucker. I would not drop.
No, Uzcategui still didn't like it. Remember when he got released?
Oh
Uzcategui
yeah.
was like mad on Twitter or something, or like Instagram. I don't know, somewhere, or no, just like I just saw in a random boxing article. He was just like, I don't like that.
Yeah, that was a whole weird ass episode that followed. Mayweather didn't look great against the Loya, in my opinion. That fight was like, I actually watched that fight like early in the quarantine, and I was asking people like how they, scored it, and it was all over the place. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it was so close, it could have gone either way." Like that was the majority. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, it could have gone either way." But there's some that are like, "Oh, I give Oscar 1 round," and I'm like, okay. And then other people are like, "Oh no, Oscar should have won that fight." And I'm like, okay, you could say either one could have won that fight. I had Floyd winning by 1 round or 2. But to say that it wasn't like competitive or close, to me, it's just like that's when the bias comes in. Either way, you know what I mean? Like there was a guy that literally said, I gave Oscar 1 round, and I'm like, I don't know about all that, but I don't know. I feel like when fights like that are close and it's like between people that are like big and they're big names, there's always going to be controversy, and there's always going to be like people having different opinions. No, Cotto hit him low. You're reminding me memories now. Judah hit Floyd with right punches and low blows. Low blows. Mom and Dad, you're back. Yes, hello. How are you? See, that's the mask Miguel should wear. Is that Miguel, since we told him to wear that mask? You see that mask? Is that?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's the mask, right? He went and bought himself one. Right after we
like Donald Trump masks. I don't know when boxing's gonna come back, but I hope it's soon. I really do miss it. At least, even if it's
Oh, it's still the card in Mexico,
is that happening though? Because Mexico's like, I feel like
right?
Mexico's not giving a fuck about the coronavirus, to be honest.
Yeah, kind of, but like, it didn't get canceled, did it? The one with the one I
I have
told you
not
about.
seen anything else about it, and I feel like it's if it's this month, you'd think there'd be like some nice promotion around it, especially because I
Yeah, I
know
don't know.
people
It's like
want to watch it.
it's not even that big in the first place, though.
Yeah, but people would watch anything at this point. What I did
Yeah.
notice is like a lot of tweets about the UFC event that they were happy that at least you could hear the punches really well. They're like, oh, with no crowd, like the punches basically echo around the arena, and like they like that shit. So just please, Andre Ward kept hitting Kovalev. Yes, I do have to say that. I wish they would have let Andre Ward just finish Kovalev, like knock him out, because that like made people who don't like Ward like be like, oh, like he got help from the ref, and I wish I would have Tony Weeks would just let Ward like just finish him, but he did hit him low. Kovalev was gonna lose anyway, in my opinion. Like he was already getting tagged way too much.
Yeah.
But he did hit him low. Like that was right in the fucking dick. And then like Tony Weeks didn't even give like Kovalev any time. Like Kovalev didn't even go down. He just like crouched over, like, oh my nuts. Like he literally just crouched over, and Tony Weeks is like, oh no. And it's like, give him time, because he's not gonna. In my opinion, he was already done. Ward was already gonna knock him out. So why not let that happen? Why wave off a low blow? I don't like that. I thought that was dumb. But I don't know. I might just be mad. I only see low level fights happening. Yeah, but I feel like at the beginning. And then once it's like time to have people back in the arenas, then they'll probably be like, okay, no, we have to have good fights because people have waited long enough. And the fighters have waited long enough because the fighters, they're not fucking getting any younger, so they have to have good fights and testing fights now. So yes, I feel like it'd be like low level fights when there's no people in the crowd, like there's no crowd. But once everything's back to normal, I feel like they will do better fights. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it just has to go up slowly.
Well, yeah, because they're all inactive. Like it's not like they have done shit. And then being in the gym is not the same as like an actual fight. And actually training for a fight. Because right now, yeah, maybe they're still in the gym, maybe they're like still training, but it's not to the same level that if they were like getting ready for like a tough opponent. They're just like, oh, just out of my fat or just out of my muscle memory, I don't know.
None of them are like dieting right now.
No, I don't think so. I'd be like, fuck that, it's quarantine. Like I'm gonna eat my cheese puffs or something. I don't know. Ice cream. I'd be eating whatever. I'm gonna definitely have somebody next week on, so we can all have somebody on. There's a couple people that I want to have on, so I'm gonna reach out to them by the end of this week and kind of instead of like asking them every week, I'm gonna have like already a plan set up, like a schedule type of thing. But what I don't want to do is that, like with Rollies, I knew it. Like I was already, I think he like messaged me.
You were like, I'm not gonna post it.
I'm like, look it. He's like right there. I don't know. You can't see. He's like right there. It says the Rolly team.
Too much glare.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Okay.
He was like, we were talking all weekend. He was like, oh yeah, so when are we gonna do the live? Blah blah blah. When you got me on, and he thought it was on Instagram first. And I told him, no, it's on YouTube. He's like, okay, and he was fine about it. And then eventually he's like, wait, what are you gonna ask me? Because he knows that I'm like hard on him on the whole Ryan thing.
He didn't ask me.
So he's like, what are you gonna ask me? And I'm like, well, I ask you guys, you know how we get on like usually before it goes live? I'm like, well, I ask you like what is off limits, and then we won't talk about that. But if somebody asks you, then you can choose whether you answer or not. And he's like, okay. But then he like on Monday when I sent him the graphic, he's like, why don't you just come here? Like just come and I'll get you in with everybody else. I'm like, no offense, I'm not driving out there and possibly get coronavirus just so I can get a fucking Rolly interview. I'm like, no offense, but that's not.
Wow.
But we joke around like that, right? So it's like he doesn't take it like, oh, you're a bitch or something, but he swears that there's no like coronavirus out there, and I'm like, I'll take, I won't take my chances. I'd rather.
For all he knows, you have corona.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, how do you know I don't fucking got coronavirus? And I'm gonna go out there and give you coronavirus and anybody else in your gym coronavirus. Like, you don't know. And then he sent me a video of them like training. And yeah, like they're all just training, like they don't care. They're all like sweating and like all these body fluids around. I'm just like, I'm good. But I don't know. I'm not gonna ask him again. I'd rather go with people that are actually gonna do it. So I'm just gonna reach out to people. Mikey wants to fight Porter.
Yeah. I heard about that.
That'd be a good fight because Porter is, he puts the pressure. It won't be like a Spence fight.
I'm curious to see how that would go down. I actually want to see that.
And then they're both PBC, so that's a good fight that might happen with Mikey and Porter. Mikey, I feel like I don't want him to 147, but he is. That would be a good fight. At least it's. Bro, I love Keith. Like, it makes me so sad when I think back and I think about how, nice. He had such something so nice going on for him. Like long reigning, he has like one of the best resumes at 147 besides Pacquiao and Porter. Yeah. They have really good resumes. And he beat, to me, him beating Danny Garcia, and I know he took the last rounds off, but he beat him clearly, in my opinion. I know the scorecards were closer, but in my opinion, he took the last rounds off. Like, he was just like bullshit. I just don't know why he got married. Like, why would you get married at the prime of your career? That shit can wait. I feel like that takes a lot out of you. Like, you're really going to get married in your prime? Like, what are you doing? And then, injuries. You can't control injuries. But damn, the guess that you waited for Mazapan, what the fuck? Está de Mazapan. I don't know why the fuck he was getting injured for.
Mazapan no aguanta más.
That's true. I'm like, man, Mikey's back with PBC. His last fight was on his own. Well, I don't think he's a free agent. Like, he's not, he doesn't have like a promoter and he's not like tied to anybody. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's not tied to anything. Yes, maybe Al Heyman is an advisor, but it's not like he has to fight for PBC or he has to fight on Showtime. No, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And that's why it was so easy. He would just go with his own because I think Eddie Hearn's gonna offer him like more money though to like take a fight in his platform, which is cool. I don't know. Mikey, he's gonna drag the fans wherever he goes because people love him. I mean, so I don't know. People are definitely gonna watch him wherever the fuck he's at. Whether they gotta pay $79.99 or $84.99 to get him to watch him get whooped for 12 rounds, they'll do it. Or just pay $20 on the zone or $100 a year to just see him do that to Jesse. And what's next for Jesse? Who knows? Like, who else is gonna fight the zone?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
It's like he went with the zone. It's like Eddie Hearn had to bring somebody else in to fight him, and he lost.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
His pelea mundo.
Yeah. Is Verge Ortiz ready for top welterweights? I think he is, but I would rather just for safety or just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to go 12 rounds before getting a title shot.
Yeah.
Like, go 12 rounds. I know it's not his fault that motherfuckers keep folding like chairs. But that's the only thing that would, in a way, just worry me because I'm like, this kid has never gone. I'm not saying he doesn't have the stamina to do so. He does spar a lot. Like, he spars a lot. His dad is so, like, bam, and such a regimen when it comes to training. I'm not saying that, Virgil's not going to be able to last 12 rounds or Virgil's not going to be able to have the stamina. That's not what I'm saying. I've seen the kid
sparring good dudes, too.
Yeah. I see him spar Mikey. I see him spar Ramirez. That kid is good. I saw him spar that Mexican Olympian. What's his name?
Oh, is it
You know what I'm talking about. He goes out
I
of RGBA too. He has some like funny ass name.
I know him too. I know.
I forgot his name, but it's a funny ass like
I know what
Mexican.
he looks like too. I can even like picture. I just forget his
Yeah,
name.
he has like a little like hairdo. Like it's like anyway. I seen him spar that guy, and that guy fights at 160. No.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, like Virgil.
This guy's kind of.
I'm not downing him. It's just I just feel like that's my thing. And the thing with Virgil is that like I feel like a lot of fighters who are at the top are gonna be like, oh, this is a high risk, low reward type of thing, because if I beat him, they're just gonna be like, oh, he's too green. Like, of course he beat him. But then if I think then Virgil's with Golden Boy. So I've asked Virgil this and Virgil's dad a couple times, like, are you guys worried that with like PBC having most of the welterweights, that Virgil will have a hard time finding an opponent? But they're like, no, because we're gonna be mandatories. Like they're so confident that he's like he has a WBA gold belt or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I remember him wanted to fight Thurman. Like he wanted to fight Thurman really bad, and I feel like that'd be a really good matchup for Virgil. But again, I think we'll say this in like every single live. I would rather him first go with the Granados, with the I drink Granados, Figueroas, the Molina Juniors, like those type of fighters first, who are like rugged veterans. You know what I mean? Even though he took care of what's his name, Orozco, really quick. To me, that was very impressive. Because Orozco went 12 with Ramirez. He got dropped a couple times, right?
3 times.
Ramirez?
And
right?
Oh, it was twice with Ramirez.
Yeah, but he kept getting up and he went the distance with him, right? So he's and for Virgil to like fold him in 5, like to me, like dang, that says something, you know. But I think we say this shit in every live. Like Virgil,
yeah, exactly,
needs to fight, not rush. Like fight the B-level guys and then move up. I'm not saying I doubt him. I'm just saying that that's the smart thing to do. You know what I mean? Jesse Ortiz is Jesse versus Ortiz, like Jesse Vargas versus which Ortiz?
I think you're talking about Virgil.
Virgil too? Or shit.
Yeah.
I feel like Virgil would beat his ass. Virgil should have retired Linares, to be honest.
I know you say it should have been him instead of Cano.
It should have been Virgil. Especially because at the time he was also campaigning at 140. It should have been Virgil who like knocked him out in the first round. But I feel like Virgil's time will come. Like he is talented for his time not to come, and it's probably gonna be soon. Maybe not like as soon as Teofimo's, because it's another weight class, and then they have more options that are doable. As with again Virgil, when he was at 140, the belts were tied to the World Boxing Super Series. And who else had another belt? Oh, Ramirez. He's now fighting his own fucking stablemate. So those belts, they were unattainable to him. Because he's not in the World Boxing Super Series, 1, and 2, he's not going to fight Ramirez. He had those issues, and then he moved up to 147, and at 147, it's like, well, most of the welterweights are with PBC, so you're going to have to work something else there, or you're going to have to be a mandatory. So, yes, that's what I feel like I want to ask Virgil if I do bring him on here. I want to ask him, like, hey, do you feel a certain type of way? Like, because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but whenever I see, like, other people doing shit, I'm like, oh, I'm the same age. Oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I don't do nothing. And when it's like, he was like, damn, like, all these guys that I had in the amateurs are already champions, are already doing these things. But it depends literally on your own path. Like, everybody has their own issues and their own ways to resolve them. And with Virgil, he has shit going on. Like, Virgil's gonna be a world champion, like, for sure. I can bet my ass on it. Like, he's going to be a champion.
Dude, like, I'm telling, like,
I can just wait to see it. And I know it's gonna be I know that he's gonna go in the welterweight, and once he becomes world champion and really establishes himself in a division, he's going to be one to be feared.
I know.
Like he is going to be big in the welterweights, and I feel like he'll finish at like 154 or 160.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to my teacher. I was just talking to my teacher about boxing. I'm like, you gotta look out for this guy. He's gonna be big.
He's strong. Like his punching power is not like just it's okay. He has a good punch. Like no, and then I have not seen him have like because most of the time when someone's a big puncher, you can tell that they drop their defense a lot. Virgil doesn't do that. And then he's very critical of himself because even after the fight with Orozco, he's like, oh, I kind of lost my cool. I'm like, you look pretty fucking good to me. But, he was like, oh, I give myself like an 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. I'm like, bro, like this guy just went 12 rounds with the world champion, but you want to give yourself a 7 or an 8 because, well, I don't know what the hell you trying to knock him out the ring. Or what are you trying to do? But I don't know. Virgil, I could bet anything that he's going to become world champion. He's going to be devastating. What do you think about Ryan Garcia versus Linares? Do you think it will happen? I think it definitely happens. I think Linares hit his, he hit his like basically time in boxing where he was great, and he always had like a weaker chin to me. Like, yeah, he had a lot of speed. He had really decent speed. I mean, he was good with the speed, but I think his highlight was Lomachenko, like dropping Lomachenko. That's probably like a big highlight of it, Because when he fought, who was it? Hesta? That shit was boring. He fought Marcelo Hesta, right? At the forum? I was there.
That was an okay fight. It wasn't terrible.
I know Matisse fought somebody else too, some like Asian kid who like had a terrible...
Oh, I remember that fight. I remember that. That was weird. No, remember? Hold on, you remember Matisse's fight? His opponent had like some thing in the corner where he would like smell it and he would... I don't know.
That was weird as hell. We were there like
that was weird.
I was drunk.
No one ever talks about that.
That day. I know. I never saw anybody bring that shit up. But yeah, like I felt like that was Linares' best accomplishment in his career, dropping Lomachenko. Like no one can take that from him. That was a really good fight. Other than that, I feel like Golden Boy is ready to like kind of have Linares be the sacrificial lamb for Ryan to have a good name on his record.
Hey, did you see Linares like talking smack to Ryan?
Yeah, dude.
That surprised me.
I know, because he's not usually like that. But I'm here for it.
And you know why? You know why? Because I remember like a press conference for the Lomachenko fight. Linares was just in a room. I can probably find the YouTube video. And then he's like, yeah, I sparred with Ryan Garcia. He's really good. I think he's going to be like a multiple weight world champion one day. And he's giving him like a lot of praise too. And I'm like, what?
Well, yeah,
so seeing that tweet, I was surprised.
Yeah, but like when I interviewed Linares, I do have an interview with Linares here on his channel. Just like scroll down. Linares is like, no, he's like, I also had speed and I have like, I have the experience. Like he basically said, who has Ryan fought, but in a nice way. So he's like, I fought so many world champions. I've done I paid my dues and I have the experience. So that's what's gonna give me the edge, basically. So I think it does happen. I think it definitely does happen. When it's probably, I don't think it will happen the 4th of July because of the whole, coronavirus shit. And then that's a big fight that would draw in both crowds, Mexicans, Venezuelans, Japan. It would draw anybody. So I don't think it happens during this time. I think Ryan takes like the hanky-panky fight. I think everybody takes the hanky-panky fight right now. But I think it does happen.
I wouldn't blame them.
No, not at all. Those De La Hoya and Canelo have beef. I think Canelo and De La Hoya have been having beef for a while now because I remember very vividly when they were doing the Canelo versus Jacobs presser, and we were there at the presser. Somebody asked Canelo like, "Oh, you're fighting Jacobs," and then Oscar just told somebody else right now that you're fighting Triple G next. And then he's like, "Yo no le he dicho a Oscar nada. A veces dice estupideces." And I'm just like, damn, like he straight up said that. He's like, "Oh, Oscar a veces dice estupideces," or yo no sé qué. Like he starts saying, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I feel like Canelo can definitely like, once that shit's up, he'll be like, whatever, like I'll just start my own promotion or I'll be like my own promotion. Canelo don't need nobody. He don't need a promotional company. Like even a lot of people do criticize that about the zone, that they don't post as much like promotion and advertisements about Canelo being with them and Canelo fighting with them. And I said, well, he doesn't need that shit. Like, Canelo's still gonna make the money that he's gonna make, regardless if there's people in the crowd or not, because he has that contract already. I don't know. I feel like he's just eventually gonna be like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna be my own thing. But Golden Boy is like Golden Boy. I don't think if Canelo leaves, yeah, their like worth would probably go down. But they have like a lot of up and comers that Ryan stays. That's probably like a good. Depending, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Ryan's a fluke, and Ryan eventually gonna get knocked the fuck out." Probably, probably not. Like we'll see. I would love to see Ryan against Rollies. I would love to see Ryan against Tank, but in due time. Like I feel like the kid is not fought the best opposition, and obviously he proved a lot of people wrong with that Juno fight, and maybe he could keep proving us wrong. Who knows? But I just want the coronavirus to be over so that we can go on along with it and see what's up.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's almost been 2 hours, so it never feels like we've been on this for that long.
I know, like, yeah, it goes by pretty quick.
But
like,
yeah,
what do we talk about? We talked about like
about everything. Follow on Twitter so that you can see when I do post the flyer of whoever's gonna be on the show soon. I should have had a backup for Rollies, but I never want to tell somebody like, oh hey, like you're my, in case this guy doesn't come up, do you want to come on? Like I feel like that's rude. Yeah. Follow his Instagram. Follow
my IG.
Twitter. Follow my Instagram. And I'll definitely be posting who's gonna come on the show, on the live. I don't want to call it a show because this isn't really a show. This is just us talking random shit. But the dressing room was pretty cool. I feel like a lot of people asked questions. It wasn't like a weird, vibe. It was pretty cool. So I'm gonna hit up Virgil. I want to hit up Michael Dutchover. I'm not sure if anybody here is familiar with him. He fights on Showbox too. Really cool kid. I want to get several people on here. What's his name? Ruben Torres. He's really good. Ruben Villa. He also fights for. He's very underrated too. So I do want to hit them up and try to get them on. And then Virgil, of course. Virgil has been doing so many of these that I don't want to be like, hey, like come do mine, because he's doing so many. I feel like he's probably like, damn, can y'all leave me the fuck alone? I feel like maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know. But I am going to reach out to him. I have like a message typed out. I just never send it because I get like anxious. But I'm going to send him a message either on Twitter or on Instagram, or maybe his dad. Or maybe I could get Virgil's dad on here too. Virgil's dad goes live on Instagram like almost every day. So I'm going to try to get him on here too. I don't know. I'm just going to ask a bunch of people and see where I can like put them on like a little calendar type of shit. And then we can have guests. And y'all guys can ask them on here. And just like, it could be me, you, and then the fighter. And then if anybody on the comments wants to come in and like join and like ask, you can. Just don't say any crazy shit, please. Like,
they could have joined today.
Huh?
They could have joined today.
I know. See, we didn't think about it.
They had somebody.
I know.
I actually forgot about that feature too. I was like,
I know, me too. So next time, like when we have a guest, you guys can like either like one by one, we can add you guys to ask your question and ask it on screen. Like not just us clicking the comments so you guys can see them, but also like on screen. So you're on screen and asking the question. And then maybe if you see them at a fight somewhere, they'll remember you and be like, oh hey, and you could, say hi. We should do that next time. Like have people coming in, so just don't say anything crazy. Because remember when Jesse was on, like, there's one guy, like, talking so much shit. I was like, oh, God, like, I hope Jesse, like, doesn't take it, like, badly. And he didn't, but, we don't know if fighter might cuss you out on here. It's not going to be my fault. Just be nice, please. But we'll see you next time. Most likely Monday. This Monday, I didn't go live. I like, woke up, like, at 5 a.m. to come from Fresno. And it was like noon, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do nothing today. Like I didn't feel like doing anything, so Monday we'll do something, and then Wednesday we'll have a guest.
It
really be like that. Like I'm like, oh no, like I'm gonna count today as Sunday. Like I'm not gonna do anything. Monday we'll be back, and then to announce who will be coming on Wednesday, so that we can have like a whole ready to ask them shit type of thing. All right. Have a good night, Leo. I'll see y'all later.
All right,
And
see you guys.
on Monday.